Scene 31. Pran Talk. One thing I've discovered in the country where no one knows me, where the temperature is way lower than my homeland, where everyone I meet is tall, white, with light color eyes, is that I'm pretty good at hiding my feelings. I laugh when someone plays a joke. I talk and smile just fine. I sleep throughout the night. I eat well to nurture my health. I do everything a human is supposed to do, though my heart is no longer in my body. Ever since I came here, I developed two strange habits. First, I usually wear a watch showing the time of the different time zone and look at it regularly, thinking of the person in another continent. Second, I became a screwy guy who can't sleep without cuddling or clutching that stupid, shabby plush. I look away from Fragrant and put it beside my pillow before getting up to open the door. Yes, Paul. Rita made us an apple pie. Come out to eat and chat with me a bit, will you? You can't be cooped up in your room on the weekend. The third person mentioned is a British woman living next door. Since she loves cooking, she often shares her food or desserts with us. She's still practicing though, so the desserts are burned on the edges and the dough isn't cooked sometimes. Okay, I reply and head to the couch. A plate of apple pie gives off a wonderful aroma from the table. Hong passes a soft blanket to me when I've seated myself. I cut a piece and put it in my mouth. She nailed it this time. It tastes pretty good. Bran, yes. You've been here for months. How are you feeling? I raise my eyes to meet my cousin's gaze, knowing he's aware that I have some problem back in Thailand. Hong is too nice to ask me, even though I've become usually dull and quiet. I'm fine. I started to get used to it. Really? Yes. Why? Do I look unhappy? I laugh, trying to be cheerful. Yeah, Hong has none of it. You look unhappy. I'm fine. I didn't want to ask because it doesn't seem like you want to talk about it, but it's been months. Hong says calmly and looks into my eyes. I'm worried about you. You can tell me about your problem. Did you fight with Uncle? What did my dad tell you? Nothing. He just told me to take care of you and not to spoil you too much. Yeah? But I could sense his disgruntlement. Have you called your family since he came here? I have, but not with dad. Mom calls me once a week. Didn't you catch up with Uncle? No. See? You're being stubborn again. I am stubborn, Pong. I laugh. Yet, I still had to come here. Well, you're quite passive aggressive. This pair of eyes shows no compliance. I'm not always aggressive. You know nothing. Pong smirks and pats my head. He's the only one that makes me feel like I can speak my mind to. What do I not know? Tell me. Do you remember Pat? Pat? The older guy lifts his eyebrow and goes quiet, searching through his memories. The kid next door? That threw sticks at you? Whoa, that was ages ago. He laughs and nods in amusement. You two tried to climb to the highest point of the tree and ended up falling. Bong. All right, I remember him. So what? I press my lips, eyeing him, then I sigh when he raises his eyebrow one more time. Hmm? Well, what? Why are you hesitant? I plan to confess, but now that I have to say it, the words just won't come out. Hey, your face looks so serious. Well, Pat and I were in love. In love? Paul repeats my words, confused. Didn't you two hate each other? We used to. And Then we didn't. Pong goes still, and so do I. No one says a thing. It looks like he's mulling over something. Then his brow furrows. What kind of love is that? Love is love. I wouldn't use this word with a friend. Alright, I got your point. So you fought with Uncle about this? I nod with no further explanation. Pong sighs this time. He leans against the backrest and massages his temples. See how troubling this is? And I'm strong enough to keep the smile on my face. Did you talk with Pat? We said goodbye to each other. Huh? You two broke up? We didn't say it out loud, but I guess that's how it is. I utter, dropping my gaze. My eyes must be red. Are you okay though? I am. Then why are you crying? I touch my eyes and see that the tears are already dripping. I don't deny it when you're obviously crying. Hong is always quick on something like this. I'm not denying it. I was going to say I'm alright. I wipe my tears and laugh to myself. I've been through worse. Have you? I wish I hadn't. Hong looks at my face. We hold each other's gazes and I avert my eyes first. I don't want to be such a crybaby. Bran, he calls my name and touches my shoulder with his warm hand. You can cry. I won't judge. It's alright. I shake my head and brush my tears away. I just don't understand why they hate each other so much. At least I wouldn't have to sit here without a clue like an idiot. It happened before you were born. Pong mumbles. He looks troubled, like he wants to say it but not at the same time. I frown and block his gaze, my heart beating strangely fast. You know? You know what happened? All those things I don't have a clue about. I know some of it, Pong admits, looking away. My parents told me. Pong, I call his name, move closer, and tug at his sleeve. Tell me. Tell me everything. But it's. At least let me know why I have to go through this. Pong quiets down when I cut in before he could finish the sentence. We lock our eyes until Pong sighs yieldingly. It's about the business. I nod in earnest. When Pong finally starts, I listen carefully with my eyes fixed on them. I don't know the details, but I know that family has been running the construction business since the days the grandfather was still alive. They were one of the top companies back then and only received big projects. When your family moved there, no one knew a thing about each other. They only found out that they ran the same kind of business when they met. That was when the opposition formed. They started to fight after several auctions. It got worse when your family won all the auctions. Did we rob them of the opportunities? Pong shakes his head. This is business, Bran. In this game, the smart one with a high budget and good backup wins. What happened next? Pong sighs again. He smiles a little and shakes his head slowly. This is all I know. I'm not sure if it's all true. You need to ask Uncle yourself. Yeah, I murmur and look at my hands. Do you love him so much? Of course, I answer. The face of that person popping up in my mind. I miss him like crazy. I want to hear his voice and see his face. I want to touch him so terribly. Much more than I thought. Why did you give up then? You'd never been an obedient one. That's why I told you I'm not always aggressive. This matter is too troublesome. It affects lots of things. And Pat also gave up? I remember he was pretty hasty. He gave me a call and asked me to run away together. Seriously? Not funny. I knit my brow, eyeing the person who smiles despite the shock. He might have been hot headed and reckless, but who would have thought the reasonable guy like me would want to dash out and run to him at that time? Why didn't you? If only it was that easy. You know it. I know. I know what you think. Pong rests his hand on my head. I cry again because of his words. Good boy. I shake my head, still smiling weakly, letting the other guy stroke my head. I mumble in my throat. I'm not happy at all being a good boy. Every night, when I finished my business, I'd rest my back on the bed head, put a pillow on my lap, and place my laptop on it to keep myself updated. I don't have trouble sleeping. I just want to know how someone is doing. If we can really check who views our profile the most, I'll be the top viewer of Pat's profile in a day. The photo of his engagement ceremony is still on the timeline. It hurts whenever I see it, though I know his smile is unnatural in the picture. We've known each other for years, so it's impossible to not notice. I scroll down and see the photo his only sister tagged him. His hair got longer than the last time. He's reading something, looking all serious. This expression is rare to be seen. My longing for him wells up again. I touch the screen with my fingertips and circle the facial structure I haven't seen in person for months. My heart clenches at the thought of him hugging and kissing someone else. I wish I could replace the pillow on my lap with his head. I wish I could turn back time so that we can hold our gazes and embrace each other as we lie down, breathing and touching each other's bodies like we used to. I hold the tears brimming my eyes when the message notification rings with Par's name displayed on the chat box. Par na papa. Are you still up? I smile, feeling better to talk with someone close to Pat. We text each other only once in a while because of our different time zones. The chance only comes when I stay up late. Para cool S. Yeah, I'll be up for a while. Par na papa. Isn't it almost done there? Para cool S. Not sleepy. How are you? Par na papa. I'm alright. How about you? Para cool S. Nothing exciting. After the reply, it shows that Par is typing something. The sign disappears and reappears, like she's typing and deleting it over and over again. And so I decided to start. Paracul S. Is he doing well? Par na papa. Probably as much as you. You two seem to have mutual feelings. I laugh because this cheeky girl is as witty with words as well as her brother. Paracul S. What a great choice of words. Par na papa. Don't you miss Pat? Oracle S. I do. Why wouldn't I? Par na papa. Won't you come back? Since I'm speaking honestly, Par has stopped hesitating so to mention Pat after typing and deleting her words. Her messages keep popping up. Par na papa. I feel sorry for Pat. He doesn't look okay. He seems fine on the outside, but must be a mess on the inside. You're the same, right? I'm Par Rakul S. I'm fine. Take care of Pat, okay? Par na papa. You're as stubborn as ever. I wouldn't know if you're crying as we talk. I read her reply repeatedly and take a deep breath to prove her wrong. I sometimes hate my own stubbornness. Parakul S. I'm going to bed. Please take care of Pat for me. Par na papa. Good night. Take care of yourself as well. I read her reply and closed the screen without responding. I lean my head against the bed head and stare at the white ceiling in a daze, letting my thoughts float away, reflecting on my own feelings. No matter how long time has passed, my feelings for Pat never decrease. The strangest thing in this year just happened. I frowned and pressed my lips together with pressure when Pong left his phone in my hand with the sentence, It's Uncle. My eyes are locked on the phone for a while, then I muster up my courage to put it in my ear and say, Yes. Rod. His voice sounds the same, not different from the last time I heard. Yes. How are you? It's been a while. I frown even harder, listening to those unexpected words. I never thought he would call me to ask about such a simple thing. I'm fine. How are you? I'm good. I see. We both say nothing after that. We haven't talked for months, yet we have nothing to say now that we've got a chance. It's all awkward. I ball my fist and move my thumb nervously, trying to come up with some topic. Dad, however, speaks first. I saw Pat the other day to discuss work. I see. I press my lips tightly, wondering why he brought it up. He met up with me pretty often lately to offer collaboration. My dad chuckles. The kid seems alright, but I'm not so sure when I think about his father. Yeah, he's more mature now. We can have proper conversations, to my surprise. I just learned that the brat next door is good at his work. Yeah, I repeat my word, hesitating to ask about something that has been bothering me since yesterday. But since the silence drags on longer than it should, I decided to voice it. Dad, what? Can I ask you something? What is it? Can you tell me what happened between our family and Pat's? Why would you want to know? Don't bother yourself with such a thing. I don't want to talk about it. You won't let me know even when it affects my life in every aspect? I inhale deeply. When it's the reason why I was sent here? Dad says nothing for almost 10 minutes, but I'm willing to wait without rushing him, letting him weighing the options. PNP was a famous construction company in those days. He starts soon enough. All the big projects belong to them. It could be that they received most projects from politicians, so they had decent supporters and large budgets. When I started our company and found out our neighbor owned PNP, I simply thought it was such a coincidence. We consulted each other often and occasionally exchanged information. Knowing them better, I could tell they had many weaknesses, especially during the economic crisis. They couldn't make money, facing the financial bubble. Their company was eventually out of the list of bidders. And we got all the projects? Not at all. Dad heaves a sigh. I could sense the exhaustion in his voice, realizing how old he's gotten. Later, they came to us to borrow money. Pat's dad? I furrow my brow, unable to imagine it. Borrow our money? Yeah, for millions. Dad's voice gets darker, vexed. How could anyone lend them money during the economic crisis? Their relatives couldn't help them, and we weren't even close. They also had no guarantee. Besides, our family suffered from the financial bubble as well. I admit we had to secure unprofitable projects and use our own budget in order to monopolize future projects. We were in a risky situation ourselves. It was impossible to lend them money. Then why do you have to hate? I didn't start it. The losers couldn't accept that they messed up and blamed us for their predicament. They were no different from blockheads unable to accept reality. I press my lips and swallow. Dad's voice sounds more tense and serious than ever. Low on budget, they secured no jobs. Their success turned into failure. They cursed at us when we refused to lend them our money. There were ways to solve the problem, but they chose to send someone to ruin our business. They even exposed us that we ran an unfaithful business, though we were so deceitful that we destroyed a good company. This gives me a headache. I quickly process the rough information. My head hurts even more as I finally come to a conclusion. They exposed us when they did the same thing? Yeah, Dad chuckles. It's the way things are in this industry. No road with rose petals for you to walk through. I've lost so much to be where I am. Do you understand now why our relationship with that family is unmendable? But can you forgive them? Can you forgive Pat? We've resented each other for years. I don't think reconciliation is an option. I wouldn't care much if they hadn't sent someone to ruin us. Who told them to attack us first? Dad sighs deeply. Well, they've suffered enough. All I can do now is not meddling in their business. Dad, what is it? Are you tired? Of course. I'm sorry. If you feel guilty, you just need to become the same old son I had. I've always been the same old son of yours. Forget your mistake and start anew. Live like other normal people. It seems like Dad is talking about Pat and me. At that moment, I feel this bitter lump in my throat. I never think of myself as not normal. I don't get it. You never swung that way. I don't get it as well. Then don't invest your mind in it. Just forget about it. You're still young, Pran. So is Pat. This is not about age, Dad. Even years after this, I'm sure I will never look down on my feelings as a youngster's mistake. I press my lips together, holding my tears. I'm sorry for unable to control my heart. The conversation halts just like that. No one says anything more. It's so quiet that we can hear each other's breath. Finally, Dad speaks. Brad, yes. Are you happy? The sudden question surprises me. It's an easy one, but I have to think about it for minutes. At last, I answer him with a question. Do you want me to be happy? He goes silent for a moment. I release my clenched fist and breathe more slowly. Get some rest. Let's talk later. Take care of yourself and be good to Pong, okay? Yes, you too. I want you to be happy. Dad ends the call, leaving me with some strange feeling. I don't know if I'm glad or sad. The heat and blurry vision make my head empty. I glance at my watch. It appears to be an appropriate time for a phone call. So I grab my phone again and select the number of the person I can never forget. I run my eyes over the number before mustering up my courage to press the call. My heartbeat quickens frighteningly. I listen to the constant waiting tone. In the end, no one picks up. End of scene 31.